Toddler sent in a fun one. The Nuggets genuinely swept the Heat last night because Jimmy Butler was a little late to the party. Okay. Bam Adebayo cooled off after a strong start. Miami's role players didn't do enough. Denver simply wanted it more. Or, hey, the Nuggets are better. Let's not overthink it.
Yeah, let's not overthink this. The Nuggets were a better team. They were a bigger team, and that physicality certainly proved itself throughout this series.
I mean, all of those things are true. I don't know if Denver wanted it more, but Jimmy Butler didn't really show up. Neither did Bam. The role players sure didn't show up either.
I don't know what that means if they say, Denver wanted it more. If you ask the Miami Heat players, hey, did Denver want it more than you? And if so, why? I'd be curious about that. I thought Tyler Hero might make a cameo last night, but he wasn't able to play. The role players didn't, give credit to Denver. Because I thought Aaron Gordon in particular, I thought they played really good defense. They had a really smart game plan, and they stuck to it. They didn't really alter what their game plan was, it felt like. Now, you got some contributions from players that maybe you didn't think you were going to get, but for the most part, they went out, this is our game plan, and they waited for Miami to see if they could make Denver adjust, and it never happened. And Jokic was wonderful throughout the entire postseason. This is one of the great postseason runs we've ever seen. Now you're going to get people who say, well, yeah, but, it's an older LeBron. It's an older Kevin Durant. Miami didn't really have a great front line. You're going to get excuses for Joker putting up these numbers. He won. He beat the team that was in front of him, and he was impressive. 600 points, 269 rebounds, 190 assists. The first player in NBA history to lead the league in points, rebounds, and assists in a single season. These are impressive numbers, incredible numbers. 30, 13.5, 9.5 for the postseason. The only other player to do that was Oscar Robertson, and that was back in 1963.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. The way too early odds for next year, according to DraftKings, the Nuggets are the favorites, a slight favorite, followed by the Celtics, the Bucks, the Suns, the Lakers. Lakers and Golden State are tied at plus 1,200, and then the 76ers at plus 1,300. There's a lot of things that can happen here in the offseason. Don't know what's going to happen to James Harden. Don't know if Dame Lillard will stay in Portland. And if you would add him to the Miami Heat or the Brooklyn Nets, what would that do to their odds? Are the Lakers going to add Chris Paul? So there's a lot of different things, moving parts. Is Kyrie staying in Dallas? That could affect the odds. But for the most part, Denver is going to be right back where they started. Beginning of the year, they should be the team that would be favored because everybody's going to be back. Although I did love the contrast in emotion or lack thereof. Joker wins the title, MVP, an incredible run from start to finish, and he had this reaction.
We succeed in our jobs, and we won the whole thing. It's a amazing feeling. But like I said before, it's not everything on the world. I think still, if I won it. Okay, we won it. But I think it's not the most important thing in the world still. But it's a good feeling when you know that you did something that nobody believes, and it was just us. It's just the organization that the Nuggets believe in us. Every player believe in each other, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, not a big deal. Like, our job is done. It's time to go home.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah. Here, and then you contrast this with Jamal Murray, who came back from a devastating knee injury to be able to play again and play at a high level.
Everything was hitting, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything was hitting at once, from the journey to the celebration with the guys to enjoying the moment to looking back on the rehab, to looking back as myself as a kid, as the other viewer, you know what I'm saying, looking from the crowd in or from the camera lens in, and now be able to look back at them, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. I couldn't hold it in. It was just something I've been working for my whole life. I think Mike said it, Porter, this is every real hooper, wants to be on the stage and playing the game. And
That's Jamal Murray. Obviously emotional there. Give credit to Michael Malone. Give credit to the GM Calvin Booth, who put together a really good team. Aaron Gordon, boy, did he improve his image. He played great, both ends of the floor. Michael Porter Jr., I'm still not sure about him. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown. They had contributors, and that the fact that you got these guys under contract, Murray is under contract until the end of 2025. You know, they got something going. I don't throw out the word dynasty because you got to be careful with that. And really, the definition of dynasty now has changed, in the last few decades. If you win 3 out of 6, we look at that as a dynasty. Like Golden State had a dynasty. But you've had 5 different NBA champs in the last 5 years. And Denver, with Toronto, Milwaukee, the Lakers. Who else am I missing in there, Marvin? Golden State is in there as well. Yeah. The Lakers we mentioned in the bubble. But give credit to Miami, because Miami has been there. It's been consistent, and that's from top to bottom. They did a wonderful job. Did they run out of magic dust? Yes, they did, because you're asking those players to play above their pay grade, and they weren't able to do that consistently. They contributed, and it's almost like the other teams realized, hey, these guys are good if you let them be good, and Denver never let them be good. Jimmy Butler struggled. I feel like there's something else attached to that. I don't know if it's his ankle, but Jimmy Butler refused to lean on that as an excuse.
After that ankle injury in the second round, how much did that kind of affect you moving forward as the postseason went on?
The 0. My ankle's fine. We just didn't win. And there's no excuse. They beat us. That's all I got.
Yeah, they were a better team. And Jimmy Butler couldn't get started. I kept waiting for them to take it to the hoop. They got him in foul trouble early. I thought that was going to be the MO. Take it to the hoop. Don't settle for these threes. Get him in foul trouble. And then if you want to start shooting threes after that, you might get some open looks, but get to the free throw line. It never happened. Bam Adebayo, I thought, played as well as he could possibly play. He's not physically able to match up with Jokic. Jamal Murray, wonderful. They did a great job, both ends of the floor. And keep in mind, Denver wasn't leading until late in the game. Miami had the opportunity to at least make this interesting. Give credit to Denver. They deserve it. They were the better team. They were the best team in the NBA. And they're not a team that you dislike. Like, you may not even like them, but you don't dislike the Denver Nuggets. Like when Toronto won. Nobody was like, man, last team I want to see get back there is Toronto. It's like, Toronto has a nice story. Kawhi got a title, and all right, it's got Nick Nurse did a good job. Okay. That's sort of what we have with Denver. We want to watch a team that we either love or hate. Denver's not that. Even Miami. We love that, oh, man, they work hard. They play hard. Oh, those guys weren't drafted. Yeah, Heat culture. It's like, okay. We love to watch, and you love to have an opinion. Nobody had an opinion of Denver. It was like, all right, let me see what you got. And then all of a sudden, we sat back and watched all of these analysts and people who didn't watch Denver during the year go, okay, I get it. They're pretty good. Joker is pretty good. But you don't have this vitriol that you would have had if the Lakers played the Celtics. Golden State was back. I mean, how many teams do you really have that, I don't know, reaction to them that you're like, oh, I can't stand them? Or you love watching them play. I love watching Golden State play, but I could see where people hate watching Golden State play. Me, I'm fascinated by it. I love watching LeBron play, but I can see where you despise watching LeBron play, and here he is in another NBA Finals. I get that. I don't know if there's anybody else like Joel Embiid. Nobody dislikes Joel Embiid. The Celtics, I think we just kind of frustrated with, can't you guys figure this out? How about maybe not shoot threes? Like, you're not angry at them. Well, I was angry at them. I'm yelling at my TV. Stop shooting threes. Who else would you like Phoenix? I don't dislike Phoenix. Devin Booker's awesome. KD, wonderful. One of the great, 15 players of all time. Yeah, Marv.
Yeah, I think the Lakers and the Warriors might be the only two teams. Well, the Warriors and whatever team LeBron plays for.
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, they're in it again.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna hate watch it, but that means you're gonna watch it though.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. People would watch the Patriots and like, oh, they're back. And I'd be like, but appreciate that. It's really, really hard to do. You may not like them. And I did this. I learned early on with Bjorn Borg. He was always winning Wimbledon. And he would beat John McEnroe. And I'm like, oh, God, Bjorn Borg. And I didn't appreciate watching Bjorn Borg so effortlessly win a tennis tournament. And then he retired at 26. And I'm like, don't miss out on these opportunities, even when you don't like somebody or you're not a fan of how they play or their personality or whatever baggage they carry with them. You still have to admire that because it's really, really hard to do this. All right, what else do we have, Todd? You have another poll question?
We did have one other one.
Okay.
If you just won a pro championship and were named MVP, you'd likely be overjoyed and start wildly celebrating. Get choked up and overcome with emotion and tears like Murray. Stay out all night and start picking out your parade outfit. Okay. Want to just go back to Serbia to be with your family and horses.
I loved it. He is in the footsteps of Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan did not want it. He wanted to be great. He didn't want to be a star. Today's athlete wants to be a star, and then they try to be great. They do it in reverse order. Tim Duncan wanted to be a great basketball player. He didn't want to be a star. Jokic wants to be great, but he doesn't want to be a star. Here is the Joker finding out about the parade.
You said after the Lakers win, you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay.
That's great. That's great. Hey, excited about the parade? Parade. When is parade? Thursday. No.
It made me feel sad for him. He's miserable.
Yeah.
He's just miserable. He's like, finally, it's over. I can get the hell out of here.
The job is done. It's time to go home.
I have a red-eye flight to Serbia tonight. What do you mean I got to stay till Thursday?
I loved it. Loved it. It wasn't about my brand or clicks or social media. It was, I got to go out there and do a job. And he doesn't want you to, he doesn't care. He just, this is my job. These are my teammates. And I did my job. Now can I go home? Yes, Marv.
For him, it's basically, you know what? I play overseas. I know in America we think this is the end all be all, but to him, he just plays overseas.
Yeah.
And now it's over.
That's a great point.
Can I go home now?
It'd be like, an American playing over there and then saying, are we done? Can I go back? Oh, there's a parade. And then I can go back.
I just need to get back to Serbia.
Who doesn't?
Oh, he had his daughter with him. That was great. It was fun. It was a very interesting season. And the first thing I thought of, buzzer sounds, confetti, Ja Morant. Ja Morant. You're on the clock, Ja.
Nobody needed this game to go to 6 more than him.
Yeah, or 7. Yeah.
Who needed this game to go 1 more?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler or Ja Morant?
Yeah, Ja Morant. Ja Morant did. Because I'm thinking, the commissioner was with us last week, and he talked about once the finals are over, then they'll issue the punishment for Ja Morant. And I was wondering the timing of this. So the parade's Thursday. I was wondering maybe at around 4:58 on Friday Eastern time. It's called a news dump in the business. And Ja Morant's been suspended for X number of games. First thing I thought of. Second thing was respect our time zone with the Denver Nuggets. And then and Ja Morant. It was kind of weird. It was like, Ja Morant. Hey, respect our time zone.